Good afternoon, and you're very, very welcome here to Zimmer Biomet Park Sogue. We've got the meeting of the defending champions Eire and St. Joseph's Miltown. It's the quarter-finals of the TUS Clare Senior Football Championship. It's the second one. Lissy Casey have already booked their place in the semi-finals. Who can join them? Will it be the defending champions or will it be the 2019 winners? Well, that's something we're going to find out just in the next hour or so. I'm delighted to have Kieran Madigan with me for analysis. And Kieran, the temperatures maybe are dipping, but things are heating up in the football championship. It's a huge game and a huge test, especially for Miltown, obviously.
Yeah, it is. And look, Miltown are going to come in here and they're going to relish the chance of having a go at Eire because no one's given them a chance. The whole county is writing them off, and they have to circle the wagons and say, you know what, it's not like that long ago we were county champions ourselves. There's a lot of players in that team that have 3 championship medals, as many as any Eire player have. So, you know, they're going to really be up for this, and I think they're going to have a really good shot at it.
Well, and that's what we're hoping for here because, you know, we have the defending champions that said 3 of the last 4 titles have gone to Eire. But before that, the last team to win 3 titles was Miltown. They won it in 15, 18 and 19. So they're hoping to roll back the years for some of their older players as well. But it's very, very difficult, Kieran. Everyone's been saying it from the outset. And before, Eire used to play it down a little. Now they're embracing it. They know they have the players. And if anything, they've strengthened their hand from last year. Yeah,
look, they're a real formidable outfit. Look at the players they lost from last year, Darren O'Neill, Gavin Cooney, but you look at it this year, Luke Pine has come into the team. He's a really, really good player. Darren Maroney has come into the team, another excellent player. They have a stronger panel. Their bench is, you know, at the envy of any team in the county. And look at on paper, Eire, it should be a comfortable win, but I think that the Miltown dressing room will definitely have things to say about that.
Well, let's look at the paper side of it because we're going to have a look at the teams here because the lineouts are as the programme for Eire at least, the defending champions, because in goal is number 1 Cian Howard, a full back line of Darren Maroney, Aaron Fitzgerald and Dean Ryan, a half back unit of Kieran Russell, Davin Doria and Manus Doherty, midfield pairing of David McNamara and Darren O'Brien, half forward line of Gavin Murray, Luke Pine and Oren Cahill, and a full forward line of Ike Maguire, Colin Walsh O'Loughlin and Mark McInerney. There's only one change on the Miltown side of it, but we'll name that out as we go. In goal is Ger Malone, a full back line of Endo O'Gorman, Shawnee Malone and Cormac Devitt. Half back line is Sean Neelan, number 6 is Gordon Kelly and number 7 is Stephen Murphy. The midfield pairing of Micheál Murray and Dara McDonough, and then we're 30. Oisin Looney comes in for Gerald Curtin, who was wearing the number 10. And then with Conor Cleary and Paul Frawley, and a full forward line of Owen Cleary, Ralph Wheelahan and Owen Devaney. And obviously, Kieran, you're looking at that Miltown lineup and no Cormac Murray, and that's the obvious one from the start. A guy with huge potential, obviously, and scoring prowess, something they're going to need today. So it's a big loss.
Massive loss for him. You know, he's a player. He has scored 4 goals and 5 points in the championship to date, and he missed their last game. So, you know, we were here the day he got injured. He scored 3-2 against Brecons that day, and obviously any team was going to miss a player of that quality. But I do believe that there's definitely 20 minutes in him, and if Miltown can stay in the game, I think it is a wise move not starting him and maybe having to take him off, and hopefully having him there for an opportunity at a strong finish.
Yeah, and from a Miltown perspective, obviously there's strong points in the team. They have a lot of experience in the spine of the team. Where are they going to try and benefit against Eire? Because Eire's threats are everywhere really.
Yeah, I think, okay, you've got to try and curb the influence of the Eire half back line. Kieran Russell is scoring in every game. He's 6 points kicked in the championship. Gavin Doria has come in there at centre back in the last game, and obviously Manus Doherty is a superstar. You know, he's 2 goals scored in the championship, raiding up from wing back. They have to push them back, but an area where Miltown can have a big influence in the game is at midfield. They've got a very, very strong midfield partnership. You know, on paper it says Micheál Murray and Dara McDonough, but Conor Cleary is going to be out there. Yeah. Ralph Wheelahan was out there as well the last day. So they have a real aerial ability, and I think that they need to push up on the Eire kick out, make them kick everything long, don't allow them to have any short ones away, and then in their own goalkeeper Ger Malone, definitely the last against Doonbeg, he was excellent at finding Conor Cleary, and that set them up to win that game. But if they're going to have any chance in this game, they have to win the midfield sector and try and get the likes of Owen Cleary on the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, and he's going to be a key player, obviously, with Cormac Murray not playing today, Owen Cleary's experience is massive, and obviously a captain of the county before, huge experience, he's back, but it makes it easier for Eire, let's say, in terms of man marking then.
Yeah, it does. Obviously, when they don't have the double threat with Cormac Murray there to worry about, they're going to try and shut down Owen Cleary as much as possible. And yeah, he is Miltown's main scoring threat. You know, he's 29 points scored in the championship so far. So obviously, if they think that they can cut his influence in the game, it'll go a long way for them winning the game. But this is a day that other players from Miltown are going to need to step up. You know, young Devaney came into the team the last day. I was very impressed with him. As I said, Ralph Wheelahan as well. But they're going to have to spread the scores. They don't have as many players that will chip in with scores as Eire do, but today's a day that they can do it. And you know, their own half back line, the likes of Sean Nealon, has come up and kicked scores in games as well, and they're going to need that today, because if Owen Cleary and Connor kicked 3 2-pointers in one game as well, so, and he scored the goal the last day against Doonbeg.
Yeah.
So you know, Connor can have a big influence on the game as well, but definitely they need a big performance from Owen today. And Owen looks back to the form that he showed 3 or 4 years ago when, you know, he was one of the best forwards in Ireland, and he's gone through a fairly tough injury there the last couple of years and missed a year with Clare as well because of it. But if he can get anywhere near the level he's been playing all year, then there's a good chance he'll have a big game for Miltown today.
Well, and that's the hope. We're hoping for a good game here in Prospect. There was a rainbow there over the Ennis CBS, and would there only be gold at the end of the rainbow for potentially one of these teams? Will it be Eire or Miltown? We're about to find out, but we're going to stop for the national anthem here before we do. Well, we're all set for action here. The man in the middle is Fergal O'Brien, a Tralee native that is now based in Broadford. Actually, none of the officials are officially from Clare, but have all been given the visas and the green cards to be able to take their place here. Just to let you know that Miltown have a strong breeze at their back in the opening half, and Kieran, you'd imagine that's significant now. They want to get a fast start, they want to get into this game, they don't want to be out of it by half time.
No, definitely, you know, and the one thing you don't want to do is give away an early goal, and that's what Eire will go hunting for. They've done that in all the other games they played so far. So look, obviously with the win, you want to use that and try and kick a few 2-pointers if you can, because that's one thing Eire haven't done so far this year. They've scored an awful lot of goals. They've scored 10 goals, but they've only scored 3 2-pointers, and Miltown definitely have scored an awful lot of 2-pointers this year. I think they've got 8 or 9 so far, so that's something to target in the first half.
Well, and you can see the splashes of water there, just to show the conditions here. It was supposed to be a double header, but it wasn't able to take the 2 games, and it was just by that little exchange it was easy to see why. Puddles of water around, it will be making it a little bit more difficult here as Eire go on the attack against the conditions, and it's Kieran Russell that is going to be leading that attack. He gives it off to Mark McInerney, who actually started position at midfield. It was 13 and 15 at midfield. If you're looking for number exchanges, you won't get any more clear cut than that. And here they go up that left wing, and it's Oren Callahan the ball, and already Eire into a comfortable pattern that they've won 23 out of the last 24 championship games. It's a phenomenal record that they're hoping to extend out to the 24 mark today. Ike Maguire on the ball just inside the 65-metre line, and again the splashes of water. We've had a lot of rainfall in the last couple of days, and a lot of changes of fixtures, a few postponements as well, and there's plenty of games going on and tight between relegation. Kilmehel staying up today, but we're here dealing with the business end of the championship, and Darren Maroney is on the ball, gives it off to Colin Walter Loughlin, who is being marshalled by Shawnee Malone. He sells him a bit of a dummy and gets it off again to Darren Maroney, and Darren Maroney is cutting inside, gives it off to Ike McGuire, and now Luke Pine, And they're just so patient on the ball, Kieran. They're just able to move it around, and there's never any panic, is there?
No, there's no panic with Eire Og. There's positional switches all over the field. Darren O'Brien kind of went into a full forward position and ended up on into O'Gorman. Shawnee Malone is picking up Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin. What Miltown won't want is to see Gordon Kelly chasing Luke Pine. You know, that's not something they're going to want to leave happen for too long, and I think they should be looking to get that switched as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, we just saw there the extent of the breeze because Darren O'Brien put one up on his Mark McInerney. Oh my goodness, it was slipped out of the hands of Jeremy Malone, and for a second there was almost a goal. It was cleared off the line, but utter panic there, and it was very kind of an innocuous shot, really.
Yeah, it was, but I think it was probably not as good a shot as he was expecting, and it bounced just in front of him, slipped under his body, but luckily Paul Frawley was on the line and came out with it, you know, and that's a big relief for Miltown because a start like that would have been a killer for them.
We're only 2 minutes in and Miltown had the ball for the very first time, but there was a little bit of panic there set in. But it was just mentioned about Darren O'Brien. He had a shot at the post about 50 metres out and went way off the target that he intended, so they're going to have to do a lot of carrying of the ball. Miltown, meanwhile, have to make the most of this breeze and put the ball inside immediately. Owen Devaney got the ball from Darren McDonough, but he's snuffed out of it, and it's Kieran Russell that picks up the pieces, looks for a little bit of support, and he gets that from Dean Ryan, offload to Darren O'Brien, and here they go again. It's Eire Og, and immediately Miltown into retreat mode. They know there's no point in engaging here, even though Aaron Fitzgerald is tackled by Micheál Murray, and it's here they go again, and it's Darren O'Brien on the ball as he pushes forward into the Miltown half, has a look for his options. He finds Gavin Doria just on that right hand side, and again patient move from the champions. They're going for a 4th title in 5 years, and also going for their double, of course, with the hurlers already into a semi-final, the first time since the Ennis Dalcashans 96 years ago. But anyway, we'll have to get over this one first, and it's David McNamara on the ball, and again they're moving it around. It's Kieran Russell, and Kieran Russell gives it inside. And now, can they make a little bit of ground here from Manus Doherty? Manus has cut the hair a little like Samson. It doesn't do him any problems so far anyway. And here they go again. Again, now it's David McNamara out on the right. It's off to Darren O'Brien, and looking inside. Can they pick out a runner? They're not too bothered about it at the moment. They're trying to, let's say, guide Miltown out, Kieran, at this stage. They're trying to suck them out to try and pick a few holes in the defence.
Yeah, I think, and they're trying to stretch the Miltown defence. There's, you know, Ickham has gone in now and he swapped places with Darren O'Brien, and he's now inside in Shawnee Malone. They're just trying to move Miltown all over the place and get them all out of their shape that they've come in with.
Yeah, especially I suppose because they have man markers. So by moving that around, you just saw it there immediately. Like Endo Garma was obviously out to Mark McInerney. When he went to midfield, he didn't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's the movement that Eire Og, every player is just constantly on the move. And Gordon Kelly has played in both wing back positions so far because Luke Pine is all over the place. Well,
here we go, and it's Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin. And a little reminder there not to bounce the ball today. It's not that kind of weather. Don't bounce it under any circumstances. Miltown last to touch, and it's going to be an Eire Og ball, you'd imagine. Ian Daly is the linesman. Oh, he's been overturned though. Is he? No, he sticks to his guns, and it's going to be Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin's going to take this line ball. Gets that ball back now to Oran Cahill, and Oran now gives off to David McNamara. There's a small bit of space here for Cahill to run into. Now, what can he do with it? He gives off to Mark McInerney, and he's definitely one of the shooters. He had a goal opportunity a few minutes ago. Can he get a point? He does. It's the first score. It has taken 5 minutes, but well worth the wait, Kieran.
Yeah, huge patience from Eire Og. They worked that from one side of the field to the other. You know, used the line ball. Oran Cahill gave a lovely ball across the field, and Mark McInerney on his, on his weaker side, you'd say, and going away from goal. That's actually a fantastic kick.
Yeah, well, let's see what Jerome Malone can do this one, because I mentioned there's a very, very strong breeze at his back. So, how long is he going to go? Well, he definitely got to halfway, but that looks like he's going to go to Gavin Murray, but he was tackled immediately, but it still falls through. And Kieran Russell, again on the ball, he gives it off to Mark McInerney, and Mark McInerney has been nearly everywhere here. He's been on the inside line, he's had both shots at the post, but he's also started midfield, and he's currently out in the 65-metre line. His work rate has hugely improved over, you'd say, the last 12 months. The confidence of the county team this year has done him wonders, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's the most improved player in the county. At the start of the year, with the county, they were talking about him as a sub-goalkeeper and a potential goalkeeper coming out the field. Yeah. He played his way onto the field, and he became Clare's best and most important player as the year went on. And he's picked up where he left off in the county championship.
From potential goalkeeper to terrorising goalkeepers at this stage. But now Miltown have the ball, and they're breaking out, and it's Conor Cleary that gets that ball off there. And now can they get the counter-attack underway, because they're going to have to make the most of it. Sean Nealon gives it off to Micheál Murray, and Micheál Murray is in the left corner. He's been faced by Oran Cahill. He's going to have a shot at the post. Can Micheál Murray do it? It's gone to the left and wide. It would have been a huge score for Miltown. Was it in the 2-point zone? Was he just outside it?
He was just outside it, and to be honest, he had to have the goal because there wasn't an awful lot of support with him. Shawnee Malone did brilliant winning that ball in front of Ickham there and set up the counter-attack, but the support play has to be quicker. When Micheál Murray gets that ball, someone has to be coming off his shoulder, and just as we had said about Miltown pressing up on the Eire kick-out, they haven't done it there. They've let them get it away short, and that's not what it's going to get them any joy today.
Yeah, especially when I suppose a new goalkeeper this year, obviously Shane Daniels, who was the goalkeeper for the last 2 championship wins, is now the manager, so he was not going to be the player manager, unfortunately. So Cian Howard's a big year for him, but they hasn't really been tested here so far anyway.
No, you have to put pressure on him. He is a new goalkeeper in his first year, but if Miltown are going to have any joy, they're going to have to force him to kick it long and hope that their aerial ability will at least break even, or if not better, for them.
Well, that remains to be seen if they're going to change tack in that regard, but at the moment it's Eire that are on the attack, and it's Kieran Russell gets it off to Luke Pine, and Luke Pine, and he picks out Russell again. It was a perfect 1-2. Now can it finish with a score, because Colin Walsh O'Loughlin gets it back to David McNamara. He wouldn't be a noted score, so he's going to give it off to Darren O'Brien. Darren didn't have a successful first shot at the post, so he's going to give it back again. I'd say they're going to wait for a shooter. One of these could be Colin Walsh O'Loughlin. He's a man that has really, really impressed over the last 2 seasons, and he's got the ball in a dangerous area. But speaking of dangerous players in dangerous areas, it's Mark McInerney, and he's going to be patient himself as Miltown are crowding out the arc, but Eire are patiently going to wait for a score. They waited 5 minutes for the first score. They have no problem in waiting a long time, because here is Darren O'Brien. He's going to have a shot at the post. That's not going to make it. It goes to the right and wide. But it just shows the extent of the breeze there. It was caught up straight away and wasn't going to make the post.
No, it wasn't. But he was still only 25 yards out. He will be disappointed with that. Darren O'Brien was a player that got a lot of scores last year, but he's in a new role out around midfield this year. But look, it was good pressure from Miltown. They forced him over and back across the field. They didn't give him an easy option. But it's just, you're seeing Owen Cleary back there, and that's another easy kick out given away from Miltown. And if they're going to have any joy in this game, they're going to have to get better at both kick outs.
Yeah, he didn't seem to catch that right. They're 0 from 2 from their own kick out, which isn't a great statistic considering they have a strong breeze at their back. Here's Darren Maroney, and Darren Maroney has, in his first year at senior level for both hurling and football, has been an ever-present, and that's a phenomenal, it's a great sign of the player that has done so in his opening year. So here we go, it's David McNamara, and he gives it off, and the 3 players have been on the ball the most have been Darren O'Brien, David McNamara and Kieran Russell, and now Luke Pine on it. Now what can he do, because he's got Colin Walsh O'Loughlin inside him, he's got Darren Maroney on the other side, he's got Mark McInerney just outside him, and he's attracted 3 Miltown players. Now look, Mark McInerney gets it back to the old arc here of O'Brien, Aguero and potentially Gavin Doria, and here he goes. He's got the ball. He's going to have a shot at the post, and it does end up with a score just over Ger Malone's. And the patience again, Kieran, it's noteworthy. But they're in no panic to try and get a score, because they know they can work it.
No, absolutely, and they'll work it from right to left all across the field. But again, that came from Ickham switching position, coming out from full forward, out to midfield, getting on the ball. You can see Shawnee Malone's marking his 3rd different player so far in the game. He's now on Colin Walsh O'Loughlin. It's the movement to the Eire forwards. If you're a Miltown defender, you actually don't know who you're marking, because they're just constantly on the move, and every minute you're on someone new.
And look at that, Conor Cleary surrounded by 2, but the ball does break kindly to Darren McDonough. He kind of hesitated, but he has an advantage anyway, and that's one thing that's going to be important here, because Sean Nealon is on the ball, and now can they get a score? It will be their first score if they can. Ralph Wheelahan does it, another new player. And it's a fantastic score for Ralph Wheelahan, and an important one, Kieran, because they needed just to get off the mark. We're 11 minutes in, they have a strong breeze.
Yeah, that's a fantastic score, and it just shows they won their own kick out. I know there was a bit of a scramble, but they won the kick out, and suddenly they had the platform to attack. Ralph Wheelahan coming on the end of it. He's a player I really like, but there you go again. They're after letting Eire get the kick out away easy again.
Yeah, and it's off to Aaron Fitzgerald, and just as easy as that, off to the captain, and it allows Eire to break again, and it's Oran Cahill as they're going to come up this left wing. They're full of running so far, Eire, and Darren Moroney has been in the thick of it. Moroney here has a little look around, comes back to Aaron Fitzgerald, who had won that kick out now, and Aaron Fitzgerald is looking for it. They've got Kieran Russell here on the right hand side. Ickham does, if he can spot him. Gordon Kelly is going to match him all the way, but Ickham has broken through here. He's given off to Walter Loughlin, but he's ran into a little bit of trouble here. Can he find it's it's going to go back here to Kieran Russell now. Aaron Fitzgerald, he got the kick out. Can he finish the move? Because here's Gavin Murray. Can Gavin Murray fist it over? No, says Joe Kelly. It has gone to the right and wide, and that's a disappointing one, Kieran. He wasn't that far out.
Yeah, it's two poor wides so far from Eire. Good defending from Miltown. They kept the pressure on him. They pushed him out wide, but really and truly, from a fisted effort like that, he should have been able to put it over the bar. But again, Ickham driving through the middle at pace. Very, very hard to stop. Miltown did put pressure on him. They pushed him across the field, but they are creating openings, and the pace of this game is going to be hard to live with.
Yeah, Germalone now. They haven't won the first two kickouts, but that is going to be a better one now. But Sean Nealon might have been better off leaving it for Wheelahan, who had looked up, find a better position. A bit of miscommunication on the Miltown side of it, and it means that Eire have won their kickout again for a third time in a row, which isn't great viewing or so far. Well, here's Mark McInerney on the ball, and Mark McInerney's about to pass the 45-metre line. He's got a wicked left foot if he can get to use it. Well, he doesn't on this occasion, because the ball is scrambled away off the foot of Manus Doherty, who doesn't spill too many balls, but it allows Miltown to break out with it. And here is Conor Cleary. Oh, what a block. Not even a foot block. It was a hand block on a hand pass. But they do win the free, and it's a bit of time here for Miltown to settle, and they're going to have to settle, Kieran, because the problem is their man marking stuff isn't going to work out with all the movement of the Eire, and their counter attacking hasn't been fantastic either. No, it hasn't.
Conor there showed a glimpse coming out, and they need to get him into the game more. He's focusing too much on defensive work at the moment, and Owen Cleary as well is obviously they're trying to fill gaps, but I would have Owen as one of the three inside, because at least when they do break in, he's a man that can make something happen, and I just wouldn't like seeing him chasing shadows, which he seems to be doing so far. I think it'd be more in their interest to get him further up the field. But look, they're working very, very hard, Miltown. They are restricting Eire, but it's the energy sapping type of game that Eire are playing. It's over and back across the field. A very heavy pitch today. We can see the water on it. So this is going to take an awful lot out of the legs, and it's just. They're staying in the game. They haven't let Eire get on top of them, but we have to remember that Miltown do have the wind.
Yeah. Bit of perseverance is going to take, and they're going to need to take every opportunity you'd imagine that comes their way, because Eire are incessant in the running, and Darren O'Brien still has the ball. This time he's going to have a shot at the post. It's going to just make it over. He makes amends for the last one that just went wide. This time it just squeaks over the bar, and it's a third point for Eire. Eire 3-1 to the good, and we're only here just coming up to the midway mark of the opening half. Now, Ger Malone is on his fourth kick out. They've lost the last three. What's he going to go with this time around? The movement, Conor Cleary is definitely calling for it. What's the movement like? Not famous so far anyway. They're all wheeling over towards Conor Cleary, but it's gone to his left, and that's where there's a big scrap for possession. And they do win it this time around, and it is Stephen Murphy that won that ball. He wins a free as well, and now it's an opportunity. They're going to get it underway here. And Doug Orman gives it off to Conor Cleary, and Conor Cleary, if there's a man around the middle that make things work, it is him. Darren McDonough now, the captain. He gets it off. Now, what can they do? It's Oisin Lowley here on the right wing, but their options are limited every time they go down. Eire are chasing in packs, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them. Oh, and again, it's cut out by David McNamara. It's going to be a line ball, but they're going to be made work for every score here in Miltown, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But it just showed the power of Conor Cleary there. Aaron Fitzgerald ran into him, but he only bounced off him. And that's it. If you can get Conor Cleary on the ball more, he's a playmaker as much as anything, and his kick passing is excellent, and he'll also get on the end of a 2-pointer. But you just need to get him that bit further up the field. But they're in an attacking area now, and they need to get something out of this.
Well, they're not going to get it directly from it anyway, but the ball breaks inside just for a second there. There might have been a goal opportunity, but Dean Ryan, in fairness to him, used all his experience there to win a free and a massive free out. You were mentioning about Aaron Fitzgerald bouncing off Conor Cleary. They're going to be doing it next week as well because Eire are playing Kilmaley in the hurling, so maybe they're just getting a little bit of practice in before then. Kieran Russell, I'd imagine, will be doing a bit of bouncing as well. But here we go. For the moment, it is Eire that are bouncing because it's Manus Doherty that is burst through the middle. He gives it off now. Darren O'Brien has already scored one. That's a little bit more ambitious. And Fergal O'Brien brings it back for a free that Eire had. It was just a shot at nothing for Darren O'Brien, but it was worth the chance, I suppose.
It was, but he's playing a far more advanced role today than he has in any other game in the championship so far, because last year he was playing centre forward was coming in with 3 and 4 points in every game. This year up to today he'd only scored 1 point in 3 games in the championship, playing more of a midfielder and kind of more of a sitting midfielder, but he's obviously been given the licence to go forward a lot more today. He's had 3 shots, he scored a point, and he's definitely a big influence in the game so far.
And here he goes again, and I just think it's a lack of marking really on the Miltown side. I think they're happy to sit around the arc and allow them to have that position, because I mentioned already how much possession the likes of David McNamara, Darren O'Brien, Ickham, and even the 2 wing backs have so far. So they're allowed to bring it in a certain amount of time or a certain amount of the way. Miltown are happy just to let them shoot outside the arc, especially against the breeze. But it has allowed them to score 3 points so far. And here they go again, and it's Kieran Russell. He has Gavin Doria just outside him. He's already got a point himself. Now this time he's surrounded by 2 Miltown men. But there's, again, no patience. And it's Mark McInerney went for the expansive outside of the left, gives it off to Darren O'Brien, who's the man of the moment here, because he's been nearly involved in every attack. Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin now. Can he put on the afterburners? He's gone right, he's gone left, gives it off to Ike Maguire, who's got Oren Cahill inside him. He's going to wait to see what Luke Pine is going to do with it here. He's in the left corner. Again, they're not going to be rushed in any way. It's Ike Maguire now. He's going to try and use the ball. He's going to come back out again, and it's Darren O'Brien or Kieran Russell and Gavin Doria and probably Mark McInerney again. And it is a familiar sight here for Miltown, because they're backing off to a certain thing and they're waiting just around the arc is when they engage.
Yeah, and the unusual thing about that is Eire haven't been kicking 2-pointers. It's more goals they've been scoring really, and there's Kieran Russell now on the end of this move and he puts it over the bar.
Yeah, and Ickham finds Kieran Russell, and again it's that patience. It's staggering how patient that they are, but I suppose when you have the confidence of winning so many games, as I mentioned, 23 out of the last 24, and that 24th was, of course, the semi-final in 23 when they only lost after penalties, so they will say technically not a loss, but it was actually.
Yeah, look, they haven't been beaten, I suppose, in normal time, but I was looking at where their scoring threats are, and in 3 games in the championship, they've got 15 different scorers. And no other team has that ability, and that's why they're so patient on the ball, because they're not looking for one marquee forward. They're not looking just for Mark McInerney or Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin to get the score from them. The scoring threats are coming from everywhere, even their defence.
Yeah, well, Miltown might need some from their defence as well if they're going to try and make a fist of this. And it's Micheál Murray that was fouled there. Aaron Fitzgerald is protesting his innocence, but Fergal O'Brien is saying you did catch him, and it's going to be a free in. And who's going to take it now is the next thing, because it's on the right hand side. Not ideal for Conor Cleary, or Owen Cleary I should say, but
it looks like Conor to me. I think Conor will have a go, and I mean Conor has kicked 2-pointers throughout the championship, and he's a very accurate player. I've seen him kicking 45s as well before. He's well able to do this. This will be a big score for Miltown if they can get it. It's outside the 2-point arc, and it will bring them back to within 1 point. And they're well in the game. They're defending very well. They don't have the pace in the counter attack when they do win the ball, and maybe they need to get the ball delivered quicker in and not kill themselves running and put some direct ball in. But that's where I would have Owen Cleary in there and try and get some direct ball in and maybe go for the score that way, because they're not going to beat Eire in a running game.
Yeah, and we just saw there from the last kick out, it was Owen Cleary that actually won it around the middle here. So the fact is they don't have him inside there, and they are lacking that target or that marquee player, and especially with Cormac Murray out as well, I suppose. Fergal O'Brien just saying to the water boy, no place of yours here. We've enough water on the field without splashes, without you adding to it. And it is Conor Cleary who's going to try it. It's going to be a 2-point free. If he puts it over, it would be a huge score. It doesn't look like it's going to go over, and it's gone to the left and wide. It's a second 2-point opportunity that has gone amiss. You would think, Kieran, that they were going to have to take every one of those, aren't they, to have a real go at this game?
Yeah, I think so. But here's the thing now: they've had that. They need to push up now and win this kick out, not leave anyone loose. But look, here we are again, a chipped ball out to the right hand side, and that's not going to do them any favours. They need to push Eire back. The worst thing you can do is let Eire have the ball.
Yeah, and it's Dean Ryan that won the kick out, gave it off to Kieran Russell, got it back, but there isn't over. And the reason they got the overturn was the fact that Dean Ryan's arm has been pulled. Fergal O'Brien says, "Come back." The tap and goal wasn't for that one. So here we go again. It's Aaron Fitzgerald now that gives it off to Kieran Russell, and they're going to start all over again now. Now, are at halfway. Ike Maguire, who's been involved in a lot of these attacks so far, now gives off to David McNamara, and he's going to look out here to Gavin Dory. You can just see there the ball skidded off the turf there around the middle, which is unusual. It's normally around the goal mouth that you'd have a bit of a cut, but around the middle is just an absolute no-go zone in terms of bouncing the ball or trying to skid the ball along the ground, because there's a lot of water, a lot of surface water just between the two 65s. Mark McInerney again went for a little bit more expansive, and it didn't work out because it was half blocked, and it immediately got it off to Oisin Looney, and Oisin Looney gets the ball inside to Micheál Murray. He's already won a free there on the left wing. He's bounced off about two players so far. He's taken a lot out of this ball, but he still has it, and Conor Cleary wins the free, and this time they are going to take it quickly, and they do give it off, and it's Dara McDonough. He gets down the corner to Devaney, and he slips first time but gets the ball back to Dara McDonough. He's a bit to do here, but if he can get the ball inside, he does get it inside. No, he's surrounded by Eire players. Fergal O'Brien's going to have to make a decision, and he makes it that it's going to be a free out, and I suppose there wasn't enough movement in the tackle to suggest it was going to be a free in, so he just kind of waited, and unfortunately it's going to be a free out. Yeah,
look at it. Owen Devaney did very, very well there, and Dara McDonough, but when he got in trouble and he was surrounded by your old players, he didn't have the support. I thought maybe a little bit harsh for you given against him, but that was better from Miltown and from Conor Cleary, showing a bit of leadership there, winning that ball, getting it moving quickly. Miltown are well in this game. They'll be very happy. There's only 3 points in it, and they want to stay in the game. And if they can stay in the game to well into the second half, when they can introduce Cormac Murray, that's what they will want. But it's just they aren't creating a huge amount of chances, and what they are creating, they're going to have to take better.
Yeah, well, Kieran Russell has been in the think of it. That ball just skidded up, but it fell perfectly for Colin Walsh. O'Loughlin's going to give it off to Gavin Murray, and Gavin Murray again finds Kieran Russell. He gives it off to Mark McInerney. It would be a slick score. Look at that for a score. It's a fantastic one. Kieran Russell involved twice, ends up with Mark McInerney, and normally when that happens, Kieran, there's only one result.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very good thinking by Kieran Russell, the way he batted it down to him. That's just a quick thinking. And look at they're looking just to create the opening and get Mark McInerney on. He's kicked now with his left and his right from the same position and with the same result.
Yeah, well, let's see what the result of the kick out is. They've won the last one at least, and Conor Cleary's going to be underneath this one. There was, it looked to be a pull the jersey to their Rogue, but it's Miltown that get the benefit of the doubt. And here they go, it's Sean Nealon. He gets it off to Micheál Murray, and Micheál Murray finds Conor Cleary, and there's a bit of space here because Dara McDonough has it, and he's going to pass the 45 here with the ball. He has a bit to do just to keep the ball in play, but he will do it comfortably. He's going to be faced by Dan Maroney, but gets the ball back inside. It's Sean Nealon, or Oisin Looney, I should say, and he gives it off to Micheál Murray, and Micheál Murray gives it to Conor Cleary for a second. He had a look at the post there to think, will I go for the two? He didn't opt for that one, and it's back around here, and it's Ralph Whelan that gets it out to Conor Cleary. Now Owen Cleary is thinking about, will I have a go for it? And again, they're being chased down here, and they have to make the decisions fast, and they're going to have to try and manufacture a score here because there's going to be a turnover, and Darren Maroney has it, and he's caught Gerald Kelly if he can break fast, and a Rogue Gara team that can break fast because they got Luke Pine on the ball. He's just passing his own 65, but they've got players running in, and one of those being Gavin Murray at the other side. If he can find him, he's certainly looking for him, and he does find him. It goes through the hands there of Paul Frawley, but it does end up with Ike Maguire, and Ike Maguire is going to make a little bit of ground here, but he's held up, and look where Gordon Kelly made the ground back there. It ends with Gavin Murray. It's just gone to the right and wide, but it's a slick enough attack that Miltown were quite fortunate, because once the ball is turned over, Eire are all over that one.
Yeah, I think that's the main difference between the two teams. It's the speed that Eire counter-attack at when they turn over. But, Miltown there had the ball in possession, and that's where you want Owen coming off on the loop, coming off someone's shoulder and getting an attempt at a two-pointer. And unfortunately, Owen isn't getting into any positions to have a shot off so far in the game. And while they have the breeze, that's where you'd want him, because, look, as we said, he's kicked 29 points in the championship. He hasn't had a shot at goal yet today. And that's something they're going to have to rectify if they're going to stay in the game.
And we're near in half time, and he's I suppose being man-marshalled by one of the main guys. But Miltown do have an opportunity. Can they make it a big opportunity now? Because Micheál Murray has it. He just, I don't know what he kind of half kicked it really. It wasn't really a shot or a pass at any stage. Dean Ryan was surrounded by two, but he managed to get the ball away. And Eire build again. It's Darren O'Brien. It's now in his own half. Gives it off to Mark McInerney. He tapped it over his head for himself, but Gordon Kelly wasn't going to fall for anything like that. It seems like there was going to be a breach. Mark McInerney was the one that made it out. So there's a little bit of confusion on one side, but it looks like it is going to be Miltown that get the free for the breach. And I suppose we saw it in the last game at the end of with Breckens and a couple of breaches there. You think everyone's accustomed to the rules now, and it's almost robotic, but it is open to human error, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, and even the best teams can get caught with it. And I suppose Mark McInerney's. But you need someone calling, telling you, someone on the sideline to tell you if there's a breach or if you're in danger. But this gives Miltown an opportunity, and as we said, Owen Cleary hadn't had too many chances. This gives him a 2-point opportunity, and to keep Miltown well in touch in this game.
Yeah, it's a 2-point effort. Can he put it over? It's a lifeline for Miltown. It is, because they hadn't scored. Their first point was in the 11th minute. They hadn't scored for 16 minutes, but because of Eire's indiscretion, it means that they got one now. We're 3 minutes in the break, and they cut the gap to 2, and it is a hugely important score here.
That's a big boost for Miltown. They would have taken this. You're looking like 28 minutes into the half, and they're only 2 points down. They would have gladly taken this, and the breeze.
There could be another breach here, because it's like Tristan O'Callaghan in that Breckens Nissy Casey game. He was caught for delaying on the ball, and Cian Howard there certainly procrastinated for a long time, but wasn't punished by Fergal O'Brien, who's a little bit more forgiving than Barry Kelly was. And it means that Luke Pine has the ball. Now, he is feeling very stagnant there for a second, but he was just waiting for a few players to make a run. One of those being Aaron Fitzgerald, and he's popped all the way up the field to get a score, and that's a response, Kieran.
Yeah, absolutely. You get Miltown getting back into the game at one end, and you get the man marking him coming up the other end of the field to say, Owen, if you can score, I can score too. And Aaron Fitzgerald has done it in other games. He kicked a 2-pointer in the last round as well. A very, very accomplished kicker of the ball, but an excellent man marker as well. And it's a lively game. It's fast paced, and let's just see who has the energy to see it out.
Well, a kick out straight to Darren O'Brien, and uncontested as well, and he's trying to find side Darren Maroney. But Johnny Malone is very, very alerted. But for a second there, Darren Maroney, who has not short to pace, looked like he was going to get inside. And Gordon Kelly's under a little bit of pressure here, and it's Mark McInerney that wins the ball back for Maroney. And Mark McInerney, can they make up that 2-pointer almost immediately? Because it was just pulled back with Aaron Fitzgerald the first time. Colin Walter-Loughlin's going to have a shot on the post, and it's a brilliant block down from Oisin Looney, and the Miltown are able to break, and that the intensity has risen up a few notches in the last couple of minutes here, because it's been end to end. Conor Cleary has it. He's going to win a free at least. He's going to take it quickly as well, and here he goes for Oisin Looney. And it's going to be brought down all the way, and it looks like it's back chat and dissent that it is going to be pulled for Fergal O'Brien, and that has been cut out as well. And Eire don't normally get caught twice for big breaches like that. Yeah,
one thing about Eire the last 3 or 4 years, their discipline has been unbelievable, and two now in the space of a couple of minutes, a 3-up breach and giving away a free now for dissent to the referee. And to be fair, with the new rules, there's been very little dissent to referees in Clare football, so I'm very, very surprised. But obviously they're a bit frustrated with how the game is going for them. Maybe they expect it to be a lot further ahead at this stage. Miltown are hanging in there. They're doing well. They're actually grown into the game. Conor Cleary in the last 10 minutes has had a far bigger influence in the game. He's shown real leadership, and Owen's kicking this free, and he's put it over the bar.
Well, it's his second one in the space of 3 minutes, and from a time where they didn't get a score for 16 minutes and only one score in the first 26 minutes, they've now got 4 points courtesy of Owen Cleary's two two-pointers in the last 3, and it is a lifeline for Miltown. It's 6 points to 5. Eire are still leading, but Miltown will get great, huge encouragement from this. Keane Howard puts it into the mix, and if Miltown can win this one as well, it breaks perfectly for Luke Pine, and Luke Pine gets it off to Ike Maguire, and again the splashes are there. Luke Pine is going to win the free. There was a little advantage given, and Luke Pine is underway, and Fergal O'Brien said it's much too late for when I blew the whistle to when you started off with your tap and go. Instead, it's a tap and stop, so because we're going to have Gavin Doria here. He's going to take the free, and again a little bit more stagnant. He's gone back to David McNamara now. David McNamara gets it off to back to Gavin Doria, and here we go. Eire will be eager and determined to make up for those couple of breaches in the last couple of minutes, and it's Gavin Doria doesn't get it, and a few cracks appearing here for that Miltown will be trying to exploit. You can hear the roar from the crowd all of a sudden. They're starting to believe that they can do this. Conor Cleary gets the ball off to Micheál Murray, and Micheál Murray has a little bit of time here. He's got Oisín Looney over at the far side. Now, Eire have huge numbers back all of a sudden, but if they can find a score here, and can he kick his third two-pointer? He doesn't. And Owen Cleary for second there was a chink of light. And it's the last action of the half, but it's certainly an actually frenetic end to the half, because Miltown have got 4 points in the last 3 minutes. Two two-pointers, a brace of them from Owen Cleary frees that came from mistakes in Eire's indiscipline. It's 6 points to 5 to Eire, Kieran, but it's Miltown that will be going in the happier.
Miltown will be delighted. You know, they've grown into the half. First 15 minutes they were struggling, but they stayed in, and they've actually finished the half a lot stronger. And if there's such a thing as a good foul, the one that Shawnee Malone's after doing there on Ike Maguire was actually a very, very important one, because if he didn't do it, Gavin Murray was gone through, and they could have opened up for a goal chance for Eire. So I thought that was a very, very important foul that Shawnee Malone committed there.
And you could hear the crowd there the last couple of minutes now. Maybe there's a few neutrals thrown in, because let's be honest, Eire are the outstanding favourites for the championship, and I imagine if there's a few neutrals here, they probably would be going for Miltown to give everyone a chance. But there was a bit of a roar there, and there was a bit of a spirit put into the Miltown side that made them think for a second there, you know, we can do this.
Yeah, but look at talking to people around from Miltown around there the last week, there is a belief in the camp that they can certainly be really, really competitive, and they can bring it down to the last 10 or 15 minutes. And if they can do that and have a Conor or a Cormac Murray to spring from the bench, you know, that'll give them great belief going into that stage. Look, we know what Eire have, and we know what they have on the line as well, and they'll be going in and they'll be very frustrated how they saw out that half. And I'd say Shane Daniels only delighted to get him into the dressing room, because definitely the few discipline breaches wouldn't be normal from an Eire point of view. So, but Miltown will be absolutely delighted going in, only 1 point down, as we said, having grown into the game, and definitely finished the half the stronger and the better team. Yeah,
well, there's a conflab here between Shane Daniels, Shawnee Buckley and Alan Malone there at half time, so I'm sure they're going to sort it out. They do have the win to come, but at the moment it's 6 points to 5 to Eire. The county champions ahead by 1. Let's see, have a look at the highlights of the opening half, and join us again for what is an intriguing second half here in Zimmer Biomet Park East Hogue.
John Nealon and Associate. John Nealon is a Clare BER assessor and engineer. If you need a BER assessment, domestic or commercial, on your property, just call mobile 086 826 2600 or 065 684 4300. Email us on info@berassessorinclare.com.
A few minutes ago. Can he get a point? He does. He's got the ball. He's going to have a shot at the post. and it does end up with a score, just score. It will be their first score if they can. Ralph Wheelahan does it, another little new player. This time he's going to have a shot at the post. It's going to just make it over. He makes amends.
Really, and there's Kieran Russell now on the end of this move, and he puts it over the bar.
Yeah, and Ickham finds Kieran Russell, and Murray, and Gavin Murray again finds Kieran Russell. He gives it off to Mark McInerney. It would be a slick score. Look at that for a score. It's a fantastic.
And to keep Miltown well in touch in this game.
Quite effort. And he put it over. It's a lifeline for Miltown, waiting for a few players to make a run. One of those being Aaron Fitzgerald, and he's popped all.
Conor Cleary in the last 10 minutes has had a far bigger influence in the game. He's shown real leadership, and Owen's kicking this free, and he's put it over the bar.
Well, it's his second one in the space. It's Well, you're welcome back here to Zimmer Biomet Park Keysog. Eire are back in the field. The hairdryers have been out at half time and they've got a bit of a sting and they're ready and eager to prove themselves, I suppose. I'm joined here by Kieran Madigan once more. The referee is just back in the field. We're just waiting for Miltown now, and I suppose Miltown will be all, let's keep it calm. We've got back into this game. We need to make the most of it now. But Eire do have a strong breeze to come, and they are packed full of quality.
Yeah, and I would imagine the message in the Miltown dressing room is let's keep it tight for the first 5 minutes. Don't give away any cheap scores. If we get the ball, let's try and keep possession, string a few passes together and be patient on the ball. Try and show the patience that maybe Eire showed early in the game, because look, Miltown finished the half very, very strong. They would have gone in very happy at half time, only 1 point in the game, and the one thing you don't want to do now is give Eire a big start in the second half, especially with that breeze.
Well, we're all ready to go now. It's just the players are taking their positions. The umpires are making a bit of a scuttle down as well. Joe Kelly is hanging on to the rain gear as he makes his way down. And Fergal O'Brien here, as I mentioned, he's a Tralee native. Covers both codes, actually, so an important referee in the county at the moment. And this is a hugely important game because it's the defending champions against the 2019 version. Whoever wins this one will be joining Lissy Casey in the semi-final. And here we go for the second half. And again, it's Darragh McDonagh that gets that opening touch, and then Ralph Wheelahan is immediately dispossessed because Eire have business on their mind. Gavin Murray wins the free, and they're already showing that they're mad for road here. And one of those is their top scorer so far in Mark McInerney. Just to break down of those scores, it's 3 defenders actually that have led the way for Eire. Mark McInerney, the only recognised starting forward that he's got 2 points. Gavin Doria, Kieran Russell and Aaron Fitzgerald from the backs have scored a point each, and Darren O'Brien from the middle of the field as well. And for Miltown, that brace of 2-point frees from Owen Cleary has brought them right back into this match, and it was Ralph Whelan that got them underway in the 11th minute with that opening point. It's Darren Maroney on the ball. He gives it off to Oren Callan, and look at this for Luke Pine, and Luke Pine, can he open his account now? He's going to look inside for Maroney, and Maroney for a second thought about the goal, but he's going to take a point, and that's now 7-5, and that's back normal service resumed, Kieran. Yeah,
look at a bit of class there from Luke Pine. Again, they showed patience. He thought of taking on the shot himself, but he spotted the run from Darren Maroney. And again, an awful lot of movement from Eire even at the very, very start. Gavin Murray went into the full forward position, and Colin Walsh O'Loughlin and Mark McInerney made runs either side, drew Miltown defenders with them, and they left the gap there for Luke Pine to come through the middle.
I suppose the two players there, showing that you're missing Darren O'Neill from last year. But we'll just hold off for that in a second because Eire are on the break as well. It's Darren O'Brien that gives off to Ike Maguire's got Maroney outside him. This time he's going to go for goal, but he doesn't beat Darren. German was the first one. He puts the second one over the bar, but he did have a shot for the post that time around. It was a goal chance, and Darren Maroney, it just shows the immediate threat of Eire.
Yeah, 2 points in the space of a minute there for Darren Maroney. But look at it could have been so much worse. He bore down a goal. Ger Malone stood tall and made the save, and that's the one thing Miltown didn't want to do, give away a goal. But they need to win possession now from this kick out, try and string a few passes together, because it's been a big start from Eire, which we would have expected, especially the way they finished the half. You knew they were going to come out strong, and Miltown now have to try and weather that.
Yeah. And here they go again, and that one's going to go straight over the line, and there's immediate pressure again on Miltown's shoulders. Kieran Russell, and again the pace that Eire want to go. They want everything to be taken quickly now. They're going to try and press it, and they've got 2 points after only 2 minutes, both of them from Darren Maroney. Now it's Manus Doherty on the ball, and he passes the 45-metre line. He's got options all around him, one of those being Oren Cahill. He's just going to come back around the loop, but then turns back inside, gives it back out, and it's Manus Doherty again. He had done a lot of defending in the opening half, as he was the one that was earmarked to go on Owen Cleary, and now he gives it back to that only scored the second half, and Darren Maroney, he's got 2 points. He might have even got a goal, and he gives it off to Kieran Russell, and Kieran Russell has been instrumental throughout this game for Eire. Luke Pine setting up one of those points for Darren Maroney. I was mentioning about the young players because you're missing 3 county players from last year, Ian O'Connor, Gavin Cooney, who was the double winning captain, and also Darren O'Brien in the middle of the field. And you can bring in the likes of Darren Maroney, Luke Pine, and a few others. It's just phenomenal, the conveyor belt of talent they have.
And don't forget, Ronan Lanigan hasn't played yet either.
Yeah, that's true as well. And Colm Ultra-Loughlin hasn't scored either, which is a big surprise. He puts that one wide, but they won't be too concerned because they are 3 points to the good. Colm Ultra-Loughlin is a big scorer in the championship so far for Eire Og, but not today, and they haven't needed him, and that's probably an impressive stat in themselves because they have 6 different scorers on this day. The ball again hanging in the air, and at this time Miltown get a small bit of relief, or is it relief, because Endo Gorman is under immense pressure there, but because he was being fouled illegally, he does get the ball away, and it's Darragh McDonough that can provide a bit of relief, and he gets it off to their most experienced performer in Gordon Kelly, who is one of those with 3 county medals to his name. And now can they build it? Stephen Murphy gets the ball inside here to Oisín Looney, and Oisín Looney gets it back out to Sean Nealon. They're going to have to be patient here. There's still only a goal between the sides. They won't be too concerned so far, but they're going to have to make things work here because there is a strong breeze into their faces here. And now the Twins combine. It's Owen Cleary that was the beneficiary of that one, and that's Darragh McDonough that's after going straight through the middle. He has a chink of light here. He gives it off to Stephen Murphy, and Stephen Murphy for a second gives it to Micheál Murray. Was he fouled? It just looked like the Dean Ryan slipped. I don't know, was there a lot in it, but look, he was impeded maybe.
He was impeded, but the pass to Owen Cleary on the left was actually on. He just didn't see him, and the goal definitely would have been on. You can notice start of the second half, Eire Og have come out and they've upped the pace of this game hugely. There's no more slow over and back the field, being patient with it. Now everything's been done at a far faster speed, and Miltown, it took them a minute or two to get to grips with it, but that was a very good attack from them themselves. They've also pushed Owen Cleary forward as one of the attacking 3, which they didn't have in the first half. So if they can get ball into him, and look at, they're back, they've got a score on the board now, and it's back to 2 points again, so they're still well in this game.
And look who's warming up here, because Cormac Murray is about to make his way on the field, and that would be another big boost, not only in terms of psychologically, but a big boost to their arsenal up front, because he only has one thing in his mind. He normally scores, but it's Eire Og that only have one thing on their mind at the moment, because Mark McInerney's after standing up Icky Maguire, and Icky Maguire has been dragged. He's going to win at least a free, but Colm Ultra-Loughlin can score a goal. Oh, it's just gone over the bar. But what a fantastic run, and what a break. It just shows the potency of them.
Yeah, look at if they get a march on you, if they turn you over, they're devastating at the pace. Indo Gorman there could be in a little bit of trouble there. The ref is talking to him, but no, he seems to have, I'm not sure if he's giving him a card there or not, but look, that was an open goal chance there for Eire Og, and Miltown will be happy that they only given away a point, but Owen Devaney has gone off the Miltown team now. And
Cormac Murray is in. So it does mean that they have a little bit more potency in the side. It's a great boost. You can hear the cheer for Cormac Murray. As Kieran said, he's got 4 goals in the championship so far. He's probably going to need another one if Miltown are to be successful. Now, Ger Malone gets that kick out, and he has found Stephen Murphy, and Stephen Murphy has the ball. And again, now here they go, because it's Oisín Looney on the ball, and can it be a first touch for Cormac Murray? Not so far, because Sean Nealon has it. And now it is Cormac Murray that's on the ball, but immediately he's clamped down by Aaron Fitzgerald, but he manages to get away from him. And can he get a ball inside here? Because Oisín Looney has it. Oisín Looney, it beats, it goes back, but Darragh McDonough has it, and Darragh McDonough gets it off to Sean Nealon, and they're going to have to be a little bit more patient again. But immediately you can see Cormac Murray, they'll want him on the ball, and he can provide a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, one thing about Cormac Murray, he's one of the best ball winners in Clare football, and the goal he scored against Brecon, the one that he actually got injured with, was a ball he had no right to win. He's even in the air, and he's not the tallest of fellas, but he's a great ball winner, and I'd park him inside in the edge of the square, create a bit of space for him and put some ball in and let him in there one-on-one and see what could happen. Yeah,
well, the only one inside there at the moment is Micheál Murray, and he's been followed by Dean Ryan. Now it's Owen Cleary had the ball, and he goes off to Darragh McDonough, and Darragh McDonough back to Owen Cleary. Owen Cleary tried with a right foot shot. He was a little bit off balance. He's looking for a free, but Fergal O'Brien says let's get on with it, and it's Eire Og that break. And there's a few clips along the way here. There's a bit of needle after picking up into the game, and that just shows the lifting intensity here, because there is only one score between the teams. And here we go, because it's David McNamara on the ball, and Eire Og will want to get out of their own half and put the concentration down on the other side. Gavin Murray has it. Murray. He's got Luke Pine inside him, and he's going to be met by Gordon Kelly, but not immediately, because It's swift of feet in Luke Pine, and he's going to pass off to Maroney.
And Eire Og have isolated Colin Walsh-Loughlin inside one-on-one with Cormac Devitt, and I think that they're looking to try and create an open that they can put a direct ball into him, because that's not who you would want inside there on Colin Walsh-Loughlin.
Yeah, but look who Miltown have anchored their defence inside there, because it's Conor Cleary that they put up there. Eire Og are going to win at least a free here because Luke Pine was being fouled, and they are going to get that opportunity to have a shot at the post. And a shot at a 2-pointer, if you're going to be a little bit more advantageous. Miltown are showing them exactly where the free is, because it's outside the 45-metre zone. It's going to be another substitution here. Miltown, I suppose, have to go for broke, and James O'Connor is on the field. And it just means that Cormac Devitt is going to come off. And we're 9 minutes into the second half. They made 2 changes so far. And I suppose, look, they're trying to freshen things up, Kieran. They're trying to keep themselves alive in the game. And 9-6. Not a bad position.
No, they take that at this stage of the game, and having Cormac Murray on the field, and James O'Connor is certainly not going to weaken their team in any way. He's got loads of experience. He's got championship medals. He's played an awful lot of championship football for them. And you know, Cormac Devitt has had a good championship. He had a tough battle there today. The same with Owen Devaney, you know, going off as well. He's had a good championship, but you know, you need your experienced players on the field at this stage to see out the game.
Not going to reach the intended target, which was over the bar. Jerm Malone picks it up. He had the sun in his eyes, but he managed to catch that one. Mark McInerney was going for the 2-pointer, but Miltown still only that score behind. And where there's life, there's hope. Even though Oisin Looney took a bit of time on the ball, too much time, says Fergal O'Brien. Oh, but he didn't hand back the ball either, unfortunately. And Eire Og made him know about it, and it's going to be brought up all the way. And again, Kieran, I know it's hard to keep your concentration all the time, but that's silly when you look at the consequences.
There's no excuse for that, Owen. You know, it's a giveaway score, really. Mark McInerney is obviously going to have a go now with a 2-pointer, and that's a massive swing in the game if they give away 2 points from that, which it was going to be a sideline ball. It wasn't going to be a direct threat at that stage, and now you're giving one of the best free takers in Clare football an opportunity to kick a 2-pointer with the wind and everything in his favour.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit short with it, but that one was another 5 metres. So he's saying, will he kick it from the ground or not? Well, Mark McInerney is going to kick it. He was a little bit ruffled by that one, but it's not ruffled in terms of the kick, because that goes straight over the bar, and it's a 2-pointer. And could it be a very costly score for Miltown, because it's now 11-6. They were moving up the field at the time of that free. It was only given as a 1, which is more controversy here. Now Fergal O'Brien says 2. And his umpire says 2, and it's a bit of an ironic cheer from the shed side as well. Could be a psychological turnover there now, Kieran, because Miltown were feeling like they're coming up the field, and suddenly it's a sucker punch to lose that 2.
Yeah, that could be a game changer. Miltown need to get the next score on the board now, because you know that's massive damage to you when you're actually playing well. You're within 1 score, and you give away a soft 2-pointer like that for no other reason, just a little bit of indiscipline. They need to get the next score, but look, they've got experienced players, Gordon Kelly, Conor Cleary, Owen Cleary. They'll keep their heads, and if they can get the next score, you know, this game could go all the way down to the straight. You just don't want Eire Og to run away with it at this stage.
Well, they have the advantage, so they're going to try and use that advantage as much as they can. And Conor Cleary gets a good ball inside here, and it is Cormac Murray, his first chance at maybe the post, but look, Ike Maguire takes him out of it, and he's going to get a free for that. And Cormac Murray wins a free and an opportunity for Miltown to slash the deficit. It's at the moment, it's at 5 points. They can bring it down to 4 with this one, and every score, I suppose, vital at this stage, Kieran, just to keep in touch, I suppose, and keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, and it shows the attacking threat they have. Like, that was a fantastic kick pass from Conor Cleary to Cormac Murray, and Cormac Murray had nothing in his head, only put the head down and run straight at goal, and he had to be pulled down, and it shows the danger that he is, and it's just a case now, how much can they get him on the ball, because there's certainly plenty time there, and if they can stay in touch in this game, anything can happen.
Well, anything can happen, but at the moment there's 4 points between the sides, and Owen Cleary just assures that his team are staying in touch. Keane Howard will kick out the ball here, and there's a lot of pressure on this one now, because the swings between getting it back to 3 or pushing out to 5 would be massive from either way. Now, what can he do with it? Gavin Murray makes the run, and he's going to get that ball. Oh, but he doesn't collect it first time, and he's going to be under a little bit of pressure here, because Darren Maroney is surrounded by 3 Miltown men, but that's swift defeat. He manages to get himself out of trouble, and it means that Eire Og are on a counter-attack, and already Miltown streaming players back. If the margins are that tight, if they turn over the ball, and look at it, Oren Cahill now inside the 45, and he gets it off here. And can Aaron Fitzgerald score his second point? He can. The captain scores again, and that is a fantastic score. And just a real sucker punch for Miltown that have made such strides to get back into it.
Yeah, it looked like they'd actually turned over that kick out, that Gavin Murray didn't hold, and I actually thought maybe there might have been a possibility that Darren Maroney might have touched the ball on the ground, but he did very well. But they had the overlap, they had extra players all over the place, and that's the difference, the pace that they're breaking at. And look, they've kicked 10 points from play today. Which is massive in these conditions, and I suppose so far that is probably the difference between the teams.
It is indeed 5 points actually the difference, and Fergal O'Brien has certainly kept on his toes in terms of incident-packed second half. Now Miltown had a free and they've taken it quickly, and it's just going to be Shawnee. Oh, that's going to be Shawnee Malone on the ball now. Endo Gorman giving it to him, and now there's a free man out here. It's the latest man in, James O'Connor. Now he's got Stephen Murphy just ahead of him. He has a limited option, so he's going to have to come inside, and that's where Conor Cleary is, and he can find Sean Nealon. Now Sean Nealon has Paul Frawley just inside him with a little bit of space here, and Conor Cleary had shaken off his marker, and suddenly there's a little bit of space here because what he's saying, there was a little bit of holding, and it's going to be a free in and an opportunity for Miltown to get another score. A little bit more confusion, I suppose. That wasn't too obvious, but there's going to be a change on the Eire side in the meantime.
Yeah.
It's going to be Aidan McGrath. The bull is on, and it looks like it's Luke Pine that's going to make his way off the field. And we're just here at the 3/4 mark. We're just entering the final quarter, and Miltown again just staying in touch all the time, just within striking distance, but enough to keep him in this game.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Conor Cleary. He's shown real leadership. He was involved 3 times in that move, and his kick passing is fantastic. It's just a joy to watch it. And Owen is keeping Miltown in the game with his frees. That's he's 7 point today, I think, all from frees. And they're still well in this game. They're taking it down to the last 15 minutes, and that's what they would have wanted before the game.
Yeah, he's got the last 7 points for Miltown. He's going to have to score a few more, unfortunately, if they are to try and create what would be clearly the upset of this championship, but the upset of many championships if they were to pull it off. Rogue are determined not to let that happen, though. We're into the final quarter here, and it's Iken McGuire who's on the ball. About 65 metres out, he's got Kieran Russell here with a bit of space. He's not rushed to try and get rid of it by any means. And it is Kieran Russell who has been on a lot of ball in both halves. He's got Gavin Murray just down the side from him, and he's going to find him. Now Murray on the ball. He gives it off to Manus Doherty, who's been freed up a little. Now Darren O'Brien, who had a big first half, but has been a lot quieter, I suppose, in that second half. And it's Darren Maroney, who hasn't been quite in the second half because he's got 2 points, almost got a goal as well. And now Mark McInerney, he's already got 2. He was thought about having a little effort at it there. He's going to have it with the right foot this time. It's certainly got air, but it's not going to be anywhere near the target, and Aidan McGrath couldn't keep that ball in. It's after going harmlessly wide. An unusual one, I suppose, but they won't worry about that too much. It's only a second wide of the second half for Eire, and important now for Miltown to win this kick out and kind of break that momentum of going back 4-5 all the time.
Yeah, since they've come out of the second half, they haven't been able to close that gap any closer than 4 points. So they don't want to let Eire get the next score now and stretch it out. Miltown want to get another score on the board and make it a 1-score game, and then they'll start to believe, and then the crowd will get behind them, and just don't give away cheap ball or cheap scores at this stage.
They had 2 Cleary brothers under the ball there at midfield for that last kick out, and now they've combined again, because normally it's Conor setting up Owen. This time it's Owen setting up Conor. He gives it off to Miall Murray, and he said that's a fair tackle, but if Miltown still had the ball, and so Shane Looney has it. Now Darragh McDonough has it. There's players being strewn and falling all over the place. Paul Frawley's inside. Can he get a goal? No, he's going to be fished it over. It's as good as a goal at this stage, because he's going to get a point. Fished it over. Took a bit of patience there and a bit of composure to put it over the bar.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing, because he got turned onto his left foot, and I don't think he wanted to take the shot with his left foot, but it was a great burst there from Darragh McDonough, to create the opening for him, and just need to see a little bit more of that. But look, it's very, very impressive the way they're staying in the game. They're well in touch, and at this stage they have to believe that they can certainly get this back to level.
Yeah, well, there's another change there for the champions. It's Niall McMahon is on for David McNamara, and they're not afraid to make the changes either. And it's Gavin Murray that has the ball here, and he's got a lot of space. So we're speaking about keeping Colin Walsh Loughlin isolated inside, but Shawnee Malone is an experienced defender, and he gets that ball. It was crucial. No room for error there whatsoever. But Miltown break out. They're only 3 points behind, but they've got a bit of a swagger now all of a sudden because they're on the ball again, and everybody wants the ball, and no more so than Owen Cleary. He gets it down to Oisin Looney, and Oisin Looney finds Conor Cleary. Can Conor Cleary get his first score? He's not going to get it in this occasion because Micheál Murray has it. Micheál Murray gets it off to Darren McDonough, and Darren McDonough just didn't pick it first time, gets it off to Gordon Kelly, and Gordon Kelly is still driving forward. He just took a little bit out of it. And what was a bit of momentum on Miltown side is now one for Eire, and this is breathtaking stuff because it's going end to end. And Oran Cahill gets it off to Darren O'Brien, and suddenly it's Eire on the attack because Ikamuguera has it. He's surrounded by 3 Miltown men, but he finds Darren O'Brien inside again. Oh, what a goal! And what a time to get it as well, because Miltown were on the attack, and within seconds it's in the Miltown net at the other side. That's devastating, Kieran.
It is, and it was a fantastic attack from Miltown, all coming from a brilliant ball won by Shawnee Malone over against Colin Walsh Loughlin. Gordon Kelly kind of found himself in an attacking position, little bit harsh the overcarrying, but he didn't have the support either for anyone to give it to, and that just shows the quality of Eire when they break and the pace that they break at. Once Ickham got the ball, there'd nothing on his mind. He was bearing down on goal, and he was looking for an option, and Darren O'Brien was there with him, and look, 1-on-1 with Jeremy Malone. It was a fantastic finish, and that is what Eire do, and that is the quality, and that's what makes them county champions.
Yeah, you'd imagine that it was Miltown that needed that little bit of a break at that perfect time. And it would have been what would have been an equalising goal. It goes down the other end, and it's double scores again, 1-12-9. That's why they're champions. It was a devastating finish from Darren O'Brien, and we're going to have another substitute here, and it's going to be another one for the champions now because it's Jack Joyce going to come on the field. He's going to come on for Colin Walsh Loughlin, who had been down, and just protecting him in terms of injury and precautionary at this stage. Entering the last 10 minutes here, and it's Jack Joyce coming on for Colin Walsh Loughlin, and he's had a good shift, I suppose, not in terms of scoring, but he had a goal chance there not so long ago as well, and important player for them.
Yeah, he worked very hard today, and he had a great battle with Shawnee Malone when he was on him. He's a very, very important player. He's 3-12 kicked in the championship, one of the best forwards in the county. But look, Jack Joyce is a super prospect coming on as well. Started their last game against Kildysford and scored 3 points, and probably might have thought he might have got the nod today, but it's a hard team to get on, this Eire team, and he's on now to try and show his quality.
Well, they're going to have to be a kick from Miltown. They're going to have to go for broke a little here, but they're not going to get it immediately, because look at that from Kieran Russell, that desire to win the ball. And again, it's Ikamuguera. He's got Gordon Kelly for company, but he's going to be matched all the way. But Ikamuguera has the strength. He's going to win a free as well, but he's going to get that ball inside. And Darren O'Brien has it again. Oh no, it's Jack Joyce, I should say. Jack Joyce this time gets it off to Gavin Murray, and Gavin Murray puts it over the bar. And that is another crucial score. And it's just, they're lining up now for Eire, and it's that variety of options, really, isn't it?
Yeah, as we said before the game, they had 15 different scores before the ball was kicked today in the championship. So it shows that every one of their players are comfortable on the ball, all capable of scoring. But it's when they turn you over like they did there. James O'Connor, a bit unlucky to be turned over there, but it's the pace they break at, and everyone is coming. There's options left and right to you. You're not in no man's land when you attack. You've got plenty of people there in support, and that's the difference. That's the quality they have.
Yeah. Conor Cleary, in fairness, has been fighting the good fight, and he's after winning a free, after winning the kick out as well. But there's now 3 scores between them and the defending champions. It's going to have to take something really, really special for Miltown to try and get back into this game. We're well into the last 10 minutes now, but here they go, and it's Oisin Looney that's on the ball, and he's got the aforementioned Conor Cleary, who's looking for his brother Owen, but Manastardy wasn't going to allow him to get the ball, and Eire are going to break again, and it is Manastardy that has it, and he's going to break out. And here they go for pace as well, because everybody's on the move now again. Manastardy is still going. He's going to win a free at least, and he does. And it's going to allow them to, I was going to say, put the ball down and have a bit of a a rest for a second, but they were eager to get on with it. But there's going to be a substitution that's going to halt them for the moment, and it's going to be a Miltown substitute because it is
Ewan
Lenine that's going to come on here for Ralph Wheelhead, and he's going to go right into that full forward zone. We're just into the last 7 minutes of normal time, but it's going to be a free for Eire about 50 metres out on the left. It's probably similar one to what Mark McInerney tried for a 2-pointer a little bit earlier that just fell short, and Ger Malone caught it, so I doubt he's going to possibly go for it, but we'll see what movement is there. But just that goal it's just taking the life out of Miltown, really.
Yeah, it's a killer when you're really back in the game, and they were playing well, and they've had a very, very good second half, but it's just they're clinical, Eire. They really punish you any opportunity they get, and you can't afford to give away the ball or turn over the ball softly because they're ruthless.
Yeah, and here is the man that scored the goal in Darren O'Brien, and if you're talking about ruthless, he a 1-2 with Maguire before finishing it to the net. And now they're going to build and they're going to be patient, and they can't afford to be patient. They're now 7 points clear, and it's Miltown that are going to have to chase this down. They can't afford to stand off and watch him. And Ike Maguire has been at the centre of everything so far. And again, he's setting off Gavin Dory. He's already got a point, and he's got a second one now. And that looks to be game, set, and match at this stage because Eire are now 8 points clear. They won by 8 2 years ago, and in a double scores win, and it looks like it's going to be them again getting through to that semi-final here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Miltown, it looks like it's petering out from them now, and they put up a very strong challenge, but Eire are finishing this very, very strong. And I was just looking there of their starting 6 defenders, they've got 7 points out of it, and that's a massive contribution from your defence, and when you've got scoring threats all over the field, you're going to be very hard to stop.
Yeah, and they're very hard to stop anyway, because here is Jack Joyce. He can add to the list of scorers, and he's after not doing it. He's after putting that one wide, unfortunately for him. It would have been an opportunity to try and impress Shane Daniels and try and get a starting berth, but it's instead a third wide for Eire. A bit of relief for Miltown, but they're still a long way to try and get back into this game. We're entering the last 5 minutes of normal time. Ger Malone has normally looks for Conor Cleary in this situation. He's certainly going to be underneath the ball, and he gets the ball down. It's going to be a free out for Miltown, and Fergal O'Brien says move out of his way because they're going to be looking for it, and it's Owen Cleary that has the ball. He's given off to his brother Conor. The two of them have been instrumental in everything that Miltown have done. Paul Frawley, he cleared off the line in the opening minute, and he gives the ball away. That came off Micheál Murray, and it's going to be an Eire win, and it's a disappointing outcome. And with what's Fergal O'Brien given, because it did come off Micheál Murray. Ian Daly says it did, and it's going to be an Eire line ball, and there's kind of a sensible inevitability about this, Kieran.
Yeah, it looks like now that we're just going to be playing out the last few minutes. That goal has killed the game. It was very, very competitive up to that, and you could still sense that there might have been an opportunity for Miltown to create an opening at that stage, but that goal coming from a Miltown attack, I suppose, which would be the most disappointing part of it from their point of view, it really has killed the game, and that is what Eire do.
Yeah, well, they're able to pick them off, and you punish any error that you make. Oh, and Sean Nealon got a bit overly aggressive there, and it's Kieran Russell that gives it to Gavin Murray, and Gavin Murray could have gone for goal, but he says, you know what, I'm going to take a point, fisted it over, and it's another score for Eire, and it looks like it's going to be another free. And you already mentioned that this player hadn't seen any game time, but Ronan Lanigan is about to come onto the field, and for Eire, they've got 1-3 without reply now, to kind of dilute this game somewhat, and it does give an opportunity, and yet another county player coming off the bench. I mean, where does it stop here, Kieran?
Yeah, the strength of their panel is unbelievable. As you said, the players you mentioned that they've lost from last year, and the players that have stepped up, the likes of the Darren Maroney's, Luke Pine, a player like this, but Ronan Lanigan is one of the best players on the Clare team, let alone the Eire team, and the fact is he hasn't featured in the championship until 3 minutes ago in the quarter final, so obviously he's coming looking for someone's place for a semi-final, and if I was one of the Eire defenders, I wouldn't be missing any training for the next couple of weeks.
He's more likely to get our place, really. Now here we go, it's Ger Malone. He's looking out to a sea of red, so he decides to go a little bit shorter to Sean Nealon. Sean Nealon saying that he was overly aggressively tackle, but they're certainly under a little bit of pressure here at the back, and that's just what Eire do. They might be 9 points ahead, but there's no let up here whatsoever. They're going to put Miltown under pressure right to the final minute, and I suppose that's the competition for places you're talking about.
Absolutely, you know, Ronan Lanigan just on, Jack Joyce is just on, he's looking for a place as well, and it was the same last year when the likes of Luke Pine were breaking through.
And it's going to be another breach, and they seem to do it late in the half if Eire are to breach. Nigel McMahon won't be happy with that, but it's an opportunity for Owen Cleary to go for the 2 at least and put a bit of respectability on the scoreboard. There's going to be a substitution here for Miltown.
Connell Mead.
In the meantime, but he's taken it short in the meantime, and it's given off to Cormac Murray, and he's not blessed with options here, Cormac, but he is going to try and manufacture something. It's a shot he had at the post that was blocked quite easily by Dean Ryan. It was an optimistic effort. Probably Owen Cleary should have gone for the 2.
Yeah, I thought so. You know, at this stage, a 2-pointer would have been fine, and I think it was a great opportunity for him to do that. As you said about the competition for places, everyone that's come onto the Eire team is fighting for a position in the team, and their squad is very, very strong. It wasn't that long ago Aidan McGrath was the best centre back in the county, and now he's only coming on in the second half. You know, another player fighting for a place, and young talent coming through. They're very, very impressive, and it's a conveyor belt of talent. And look, there's no Gavin Cooney on this panel, but there's rumours that he may be around in sometime in the future as well. So look, it's stronger they're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a warning sign, I suppose. This finish to the game, and there it is. It's Ronan Lanigan gives it off to his old sparring partner Manastarty, and can Manastarty add his name to the score sheet? Yes, is the answer, and it now is a double scores game because the lead is out to 10, and Manastarty. There's going to be more substitutions here, but 10 points, Kieran. It's emphatic for a finish for a game that was close, let's say, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a 10-point victory either. You know, I thought Miltown had played a big part in it, and it's just maybe the last 10 minutes the game has got away from him. But again, we were talking about defenders from Eire. That's now 5 of the starting 6 defenders for Eire that have chipped in with a score today. And look, there isn't too many teams in the county that have defenders coming in with that amount of scores for you.
No, absolutely not. Well, there's only going to be 2 extra minutes here, and probably both teams will be happy enough with that, because Eire, a lot of these players have a semi-final in hurling next week, and Miltown will just be happy now to see out this game, because they gave it a go, they gave it a decent go, but it's not going to be their day for certain. No, it's just going to see what the final damage is actually going to be, because it's Darren O'Brien that has the ball, the goal scorer. He gets it off to Aidan McGrath, and they're going to build again. They have used the full complement of subs, so they've emptied the bench, and let's see what they can produce from this. And it is one of those aforementioned subs, Ronan Lanigan, that has the ball. He set up a point for Manastarty with his first attack. He's looking for Gavin Murray, and at this stage of the game he's not going to be able to reach that one. It just goes harmlessly wide. It's only a 4th wide of the second half for Eire, but they have scored 116 in total, and it is enough here to put them into the last 4 of the TUS Clare Senior Football Championship, along with their neighbours in the CKC. We'll see what tomorrow brings in terms of Kilmurray Brecon are here at 1 p.m, also live on Clare GA TV. And then at 4:30 in Park Finna out in Corofin, it's Cracklow and Ennis Diamond that will conclude the last 8 ties. There's going to be Mark McInerney is just given a little bit of a hoosh in the back to Endo Gorman, and it just shows there's a little bit of spirit left in this game, that they're fighting to the last whistle, Kieran.
Well, you know, if you want to know what Eire are all about, that last run from Mark McInerney tells you everything. He was 20 yards off it. Ger Malone tries a short kick out, and he sprinted to try and turn it over 2 minutes into injury time with the game well won. You know, it just shows the competitive spirit they have and how much they're fighting.
Yeah, and Gordon Kelly does win a free this time around, and it's Conor Cleary takes it quickly. And there's just a little bit of lack of communication, and even Fergal O'Brien at that stage says the game is up. It is up, and it means that the defending champions march on. It's a 24th victory in 25 matches for this Eire juggernaut. They move on to the last 4 of the defending champions. They're looking for 2 in a row and a 4th in 5 years. And Kieran, you wouldn't back against them going on what you saw there for a finish.
No, it's the scores they're putting up and the beatings they're putting on teams. You know, there's no one really getting close to them. Look, Miltown did for 40-45 minutes, gave a very, very good performance, and they can be proud of what they did today, but it's just when Eire went through the gears, they just couldn't live with them, especially after that goal. They're a very, very strong outfit. They seem to be getting stronger every year. Look, at a lot of those players haven't hit their peak yet. They're a very young team, like players like Colin Walsh, Loughlin, Manus Doherty, Ronan Lanigan. They're all still young, and then there's younger players coming in behind them, the likes of Luke Pine and Darren Maroney and Jack Joyce, so they're going to be very, very hard. I don't think anyone's going to want them in the semi-final, but again, if you're one of the other teams, if you want to win the county final, you're going to have to face them at some stage.
Yeah, well, there's still a little bit of afters here. Owen Cleary isn't happy with something that was either said or done, and Fergal O'Brien says, no, let's get a goal on at this stage. Owen Cleary still not terribly happy with what's going on, but anyway, there was a bit of spirit there with Miltown, and in fairness to them, until let's say 48-49 minutes before that goal was kicked, there was only 3 points between the sides, and it was them that looked the ones trying to ask questions of this Eire team.
Yeah, I think they can be proud of their performance. They stood up to them. Nobody gave them a chance coming into the game, and then they were missing their star forward in Cormac Murray as well, so definitely nobody gave them a chance. But they had good performances in a lot of positions today. I thought Shawnee Malone had a very, very good display. Sean Nealon played well. I thought Conor Cleary was excellent, as was Owen, and I thought James O'Connor when he came on did well as well. So and they've got some good young players coming through. They'll certainly take plenty from it to build and to bring into next year, and if they can hold on to some of their older contingent, it certainly gives them something to build on.
Eire, obviously the collective is massive, and every player plays well, everyone plays their partners as well, but who for you kind of stood out from the pack really as the key performance in this performance?
Well, look, defensively I thought they were excellent, and as we said, Darren Maroney was very good. I thought Kieran Russell was very, very good. I think Ickham was central to everything they did, and even the goal, anytime the pace is injected, Ickham's involved in it, and he certainly was involved in that goal, and when he gets the ball in his hands and he runs at teams, he's devastating. Mark McInerney, gave a very good display as well, but I thought Ickham was absolutely outstanding.
Well, he's going to be the man of the match on this occasion at least. We're going to have a look at the highlights of the second half, and there was plenty of those in that second half. Join us again for a bit of reaction, but for the moment it's 116 to 9 points. Eire march on to the semi-final. The champions are still alive. Have a look at the highlights and join us again in a few minutes' time.
John Nealon and Associate. John Nealon is a Clare BER assessor and engineer. If you need a BER assessment, domestic or commercial, on your property, just call mobile 086 826 2600 or 065 684 4300. Email us on info@berassessorinclare.com.
Now, what can he do with it? He gives off to Mark McInerney, and he's definitely one of the shooters. He had a goal opportunity a few minutes ago. Can he get a point? He does. He goes. He's got the ball. He's going to have a shot at the post, and it does end up with a score. Just score. It will be their first score if they can. Ralph Wheelahan does it. Another new player. This time he's going to have a shot at the post. It's going to just make it over. He makes amends.
Really, and there's Kieran Russell now on the end of this move, and he puts it over the bar.
Yeah, and Ickham finds Kieran Russell, and Gavin Murray again finds Kieran Russell. He gives it off to Mark McInerney. It would be a slick score. Look at that for a score. It's a fantastic.
And to keep Miltown well in touch in this game.
Yeah, it's a 2-point effort. Can he put it over? It's a lifeline for Miltown, for a few players to make a run. One of those being Aaron Fitzgerald, and he's popped all the way.
Conor Cleary in the last 10 minutes has had a far bigger influence in the game. He's shown real leadership, and Owen's kicking this free, and he's put it over the bar.
Well, it's his Maroney for second thought about the goal, but he's going to take a point. Muguero's got Maroney outside him. This time he's going to go for goal, but he doesn't beat down German does the first one. He puts the second one over the bar. But
patient with it. Now everything's been done at a far faster speed, and Miltown, it took him a minute or two to get to grips with it, but that was a very good attack from
McInerney's after standing up Ike Muguero, and Ike Muguero has been dragged. He's going to win at least a free, but Colin Walsh-Loughlin can score a goal. Oh, it's just gone over them. He was a little bit ruffled by that one, but it's not ruffled in terms of the kick, because that goes straight over the bar and it's a 2-pointer.
And if they can stay in touch in this game, anything can happen.
Well, anything can happen, but at 5, but he gets it off here. And can Aaron Fitzgerald score his second point? He can.
Very impressed with Conor Cleary. He's shown real leadership. He was involved 3 times in that move, and his kick passing is fantastic. It's just a joy to watch it. And
by 3 Miltown men, but he finds Darren O'Brien inside again. Oh, what a goal! And what a time to get it as well, and Darren O'Brien has it again. Oh no, it's Jack Joyce, as you said. Jack Joyce this time gets it off to Gavin Murray, and Gavin Murray puts it over the bar. Gavin Murray, he's already got a point, and he's got a second one now. And that looks to the score sheet. Yes, is the answer, and it now is a double score. You're welcome back here to Zimmer Biomet Parky. So delighted to be joined by Ike Muguero. And Ike, you marched on, strong finish. You'll be delighted just to get over that line.
Yeah, very happy, man. That first half was just, it wasn't the best game to our standards, but we knew coming here like Miltown would give us a tough game, and just playing, and like that pitch, it's had its good days, and today was one of its bad days, but we still had to adapt to the way we wanted to play according to the pitch. But yeah, it was a hard-fought victory, but yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see the puddles of water there. It's unusual for Cusick Park.
Yeah,
You would have played that, like, obviously for club and county at this stage, so you just had to be a little bit careful there today, didn't you?
Yeah, that's all. Like you could even see the lads were trying to bounce the ball and just wasn't coming back up. And especially our team, we like to run the ball, and we just knew that we had to keep it with a solo. But yeah, it was tough. Fair play to Miltown. They didn't die out until the final whistle. They gave it to us in that first half, but we knew we still had a lot of energy in the bank, and we came out second half and we kind of we stuck to it and we got the end.
That's the hallmark of this team, not just this year but a lot of years, is that like patience, composure. There's a lot of confidence in the team.
Yeah.
They know no matter what situation you get into, that you can try and get your way out of that, and they look to be that again today.
Yeah, we know our strengths. We know that we can grind it out. The whole 60 minutes, 65, whatever we have to play, and that was one of those games today. Full credit to the boys. Everyone was playing for their jersey, not for themselves. That's our whole ethos. Next man up. Coming into the game, we had a few injuries. We didn't know who would play, so next man up, and then we came out today and had a good victory. So yeah.
And the goal, probably an important goal. Miltown were probably coming back at you a small bit at that stage, and then obviously it was a good break from yourselves, and then to get down with a cool finish as well. So that was a kind of a killer blow, really, because Miltown was kind of a deflating score for them. Yeah,
we knew it would take one score, just to kill off the game, because it was a kind of tit for tat kind of game. We'd score, they'd score, so we knew if we got a goal, that would kind of kill their spirit. So yeah, happy with that goal to seal it off. So yeah.
Well, it's an emphatic performance. It was 116 to 9 points here. Eire, the champions, do march on to the last 4. Make sure to join us tomorrow again to see who's going to join themselves and Lissy Casey in the semi-finals of the TUS Clare Senior Football Championship. My thanks to Ike Muguero, who was the man of the match for today's performance, and Eire winning here for beating Miltown 116 to 9 points.